Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine at home. So students, today I have come with a video of tenses. In this video, you will get to learn about what is tense, how many kinds of tenses are there, and what are the forms of these tenses with formulas and examples. So students, you can see here I have written tense, define tense. So at first the definition you can see I have written here, tense is the time described by a verb shown by its grammatical form. So that means tense is the time which is described by a verb shown by its grammatical form. Number 2 question, how many kinds of tenses are there? Define each kind with examples. There are 3 kinds of tenses: present tense, past tense and future tense. And all these 3 tenses have their own 4 forms. Now, you see, first I have written present tense. The tense expressing an action that is currently going on or habitually performed, or a state that currently or generally exists, is called present tense. That means any action which is currently going on or habitually performed, or a state that currently or generally exists, is called present tense. So we can call those tense as present tense. So you can see examples I have written. I go to school every day. It's my habit. Second example, I am dancing. That means I am continuing my action. After this, we will learn about the forms of present tense. Present tense has 4 parts. Simple present tense or present indefinite tense. It is the first part or first form, you can say. We use simple present tense when an action happens regularly or usually. So formula I have written. Students, you can see I have divided the formula into 2 forms. First, when the subject is first person or second person or any plural form, then you can use this formula. The formula is subject plus V1, that means the root form of the verb, plus object. For example, I have written here, you can see, I go to school every day. Here I is the subject, then V1 go, then object to school, and every day is the time, which is showing that it is one type of habitual performance. Now, number B, we play here every day. Similarly, I have written number C, they go to school every day. Now, number 2 formula, you can see, when the subject is the third person singular number, then you can apply this formula only in that case, when the subject is the third person singular number. So the formula is subject plus V1 plus either S or ES plus object. For example, you can see I have written he goes to school every day. Here he is the subject, then go is the V1. With go I have added ES because we all know that with third person singular number we have to add S or ES with the verb, with the V1, plus to school, it is the object, and every day is the time. Similarly, number B, Ram eats an apple every day. Now, after this, present continuous tense. So present continuous tense means the tense which expresses an action is going on in the present time is called present continuous tense. That means the tense which shows an action is going on and has not yet stopped. It is still going on right now. So that is called present continuous tense. Now formula you can see, students, subject plus am, is or are according to the person you have to write it, plus V1 plus ing plus object. Now for example, I have written here, you can see, I am eating rice now. Here I, in the first example, I is the subject, am, with I must write am. Then I have written the V1 eat. Then I have written ing according to the formula. So it is now eating. Then rice, it is the object, and now, which is saying us the time. After that, similarly, I have written he is playing now. He is the subject, then is, then play, V1, then ing playing, and now it is saying us the time. They are talking now. Similarly, I have written this example, number C. Now, after present continuous tense, here present perfect tense. So students, I hope you have understood simple present and present continuous tense well. Now present perfect tense, the tense which is used to express a past event. Again I am repeating, the tense which is used to express a past event that has present consequences is called present perfect tense. That means the action which already happened but the consequence or the outcome is present, so that tense is called present perfect tense. So if I say that I have eaten my dinner, so that means now the consequence is present. That means I am full, I can't take dinner, or I can't eat anything right now. Now see the formula. Formula I have divided into two parts for your easiness so that you can understand it well. First formula, if the subject is first person, second person, or any plural form, then you will apply this formula. Subject plus have plus V3 plus object. V3 means the past participle. For example, you can see I have written here, I have done the work just now. Here I is the subject in the first example. Have I have written according to the formula. Then done, which is V3. The work, it is the object, and just now is the time. Similarly, I have written the second example. They have finished the work. Number 2 formula. If the subject is third person singular number, then we will apply this formula. Subject plus has plus V3 plus object. For example, he has done the work. Here he is the subject, then has I have written according to the formula, then done is V3, and the work, it is object. Similarly, I have written Ram has finished his homework just now. Here Ram is subject, has I have written according to the formula, finished is V3, then his homework, it is the object, and just now it's the time. Now present perfect continuous tense, the tense which is used to show that an action started in the past and has continued up to the present moment. That means the tense which shows us that an action already started in the past and still it's going on and has not yet stopped. So that tense is called present perfect continuous tense. Now formula. Formula again I have divided into two parts for your easiness so that you can understand it well. If the subject is first person or second person or any plural form, then we will apply the first formula. Subject plus have plus been plus V1, that means the root form of the verb, plus ing plus object. For example, you can see I have written number A, I have been working in this company since 2006. So here I is the subject, then have according to the formula I have written, then been according to the formula I have written, then V1 work, with it I have added ing and it is now working. In this company, it is the object. Since 2006, it's the time. Now, number B. They have been living in this house since 1978. Similarly, I have applied the first formula and I have written this example. Number 2. If the subject is third person singular number, only then we will apply this formula. Subject plus has plus been plus V1 plus ing plus object. For example, he has been studying in this school since 2008. Here he is the subject, then has, according to the formula I have written, then been, then V1 study. With it I have added ing according to the formula. So it's now studying. Then in this school it is the object, and since 2008 it's the time. Now similarly I have applied the second formula in the second example also. The baby has been sleeping for 2 hours. Here the baby, it is the subject, then has been, according to the formula I have written, sleeping. Sleep is the V1. With it I have added ing. It's now sleeping for 2 hours. So here I have not written any object and I have given the time. So many sentences you will find without time, or so many sentences you will find without object also. Now coming to the next. Now past tense. So past tense shows that an action was going on or completed in the past time. The tense which shows an action was going on or completed in the past time, that tense is called past tense. Past tense has 4 parts. Number A, simple past tense or past indefinite tense. Simple past tense shows an action completed in the past time. Formula: subject plus V2, that means the second form of the verb, plus object. For example, I have written here, you can see, I played cricket yesterday. Here I is the subject, then played is the V2 of play, you all know, then cricket, it is the object, and yesterday it's the time. Similarly I have written he played cricket yesterday, the second example. After past simple past tense, now past continuous tense. Past continuous tense shows an action was going on in the past time. That means one action was continuing in the past time. Now formula: subject plus either was or were according to the number or person, plus V1 plus ing plus object. Now you can see here I have written he was running then. He, it's the subject, was, with he I must write was, then run, it is the V1, then ing, running, then is showing the time. Now similarly I have written we were playing then. Now after past continuous tense we are going to learn about past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is used to show that something happened before another action in the past. Again I am repeating, students, past perfect tense shows that something happened before another action in the past. It can also be used to show that something happened before a specific time in the past. Now formula, you can see I have written subject plus had plus V3 plus object. So it is the formula of past perfect tense, but I have divided the formula into 2 parts for your easiness. First, if in the sentence the term before is present, students please do listen carefully. If in the sentence the term before is present, then you will apply this formula: subject plus had plus V3 plus object plus before plus subject, that means the second subject which will be present in the sentence, plus V2 plus object, that means the second object I am talking about. Now for example, if you see the example you will understand about the formula. The train had left the station before I reached there. So here the train is the subject, then had according to the formula I have written, then left, it is the V3, then the station, it is the object, before I have written according to the formula, then the second subject I, then reached, it is the V2, then object is there. Now the second formula, you can see, students, if in the sentence the term after is present, then we will apply this formula. Only in case of after is present in the sentence, then we will apply this formula. So the formula is subject plus V2 plus object plus after plus second subject plus had plus V3 plus object. So you see the example I have written. The doctor came after the patient had died. Here the doctor, subject, V2 came, object, I have not written here any object, then after, then second subject the patient, then had, then died, it is the V3, and I have not written another which is second object also in this sentence. Now note, in the above sentence the patient had died before the doctor came. The patient had already died before the doctor came. So that means one action happened before another action. That's why it is past perfect tense. Now past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. The past perfect continuous tense shows that an action that started in the past continued until another time in the past. Again I am repeating. Past perfect continuous tense shows that an action that started in the past continued until another time in the past. So formula you can see, students, I have written here the formula of past perfect tense. The formula is subject plus had plus been plus V1 plus ing plus object. For example, I have written here, you can see, I had been writing when she returned. Here I is the subject, then had I have written according to the formula, then been, then write, which is the verb 1, then with it I have added ing and it's now writing. After that, object, I have not written any object here, and when she returned, it's the time, it's the another time. So after this we are going to learn about future tense. But students, I hope you have understood the past tense well. Now future tense. Future tense, a tense expressing an action that has not yet happened or will happen in the future, is called future tense. Students, again I am repeating, a tense which expresses that an action that has not yet happened or will happen in the future is called future tense. So future tense also has four parts. First, simple future tense or future indefinite tense. The simple future tense shows an action that has not yet happened. The simple future tense is also used to make a prediction or to show ability, intention or determination. Now you see the formula. If the subject is first person, then we will apply this formula. Subject plus shall plus V1 plus object. Here I have written a small note in the right hand side within third bracket. You can say I have written, in some cases will is also used with first person. So where to use will, that I will tell you. For example, I shall go to your home tomorrow. Here I is the subject, then shall according to the formula I have written, then go, which is V1, then to your home, it is the object, and tomorrow is the time, which is telling us about the future time. Now number B, we shall read attentively. Here we, I have written, it is the subject, shall I have written according to the formula, read V1 and object attentively. Number C, I will do the work. So here I have used instead of shall will, you can see, because in case of prediction or promise we can use will with first person. So I have written I will do the work. So that means it's a promise. Now number 2, if the subject is second person or third person or any plural form, then the formula is subject plus will plus V1 plus object. For example, you can see here, he will do the work by tomorrow. Here he is the subject, then will I have written according to the formula, then V1 do the work, it is the object, by tomorrow, it's the time. Now similarly, number 2, they will play football tomorrow. Now after simple future tense we are going to learn about future continuous tense. Before learning future continuous tense, here I have written one small note you can see. Sometimes going to is also used in simple future tense. So here some examples I have given, you can see. For example, in simple future tense, we can use going to instead of shall or will. So here I have written, you can see, he is going to be 15 years old in next October. That means now he is not 15 years old, but in next October he will be 15 years old. But instead of will, I have written here going to. Number B, intention. I am going to buy a motor car. I have not bought yet, but I am going to buy. That means I shall buy a motor car in future. Number C, strong probability. When there is a strong probability, you can use going to instead of shall or will. So here I have written one example of strong probability. You can see, it is going to rain today. So that means there is a chance of raining today. Now, after this, we are going to learn about future continuous tense. The future continuous tense indicates that something will occur in the future and continue for an expected length of time. That means the tense which indicates that one action will occur in the future and continue for an expected length of time or for a particular time, that tense is called future continuous tense. Now you can see I have written formula: subject plus either shall be or will be plus VI, that means the root form of the verb, plus ing plus object. Here you can see I have written, for example, he will be traveling around the world in March next year. Here he is the subject, then will be, according to the formula I have written, travel is the VI, then with it I have written ing, traveling, then around the world it is the object, in March next year it's the time, which is saying us about the future time. Similarly, I have written the other examples also. You can see, they will be playing hockey in that field on Thursday. I shall be going to your home by 4 p.m. tomorrow. Now, future perfect tense. The future perfect tense indicates that an action will have been completed at some point in the future. Or you can say that something will be happened or occur before the time which is given, that is future perfect tense. So formula you can see, subject plus shall have or will have plus V3 plus object. For example, students, if you see the formula, you can understand it well. I shall have finished this work by 4 p.m. Here I is the subject, then shall have, according to the formula I have written, finished V3, then this work it is the object, and by 4 p.m. it's the time, which is saying us about the future time. Number B, he will have done the work before we return home. He is the subject, will have, I have written according to the formula, then done V3, the work it is the object, before we return home. So it's the time, another time. So you can see in future perfect tense, in the examples we can see that the examples are saying us that one action will be completed before a specified time in the future. Now, the last kind of tense, which is future perfect continuous tense. Here I have written, you can see the definition at first. The future perfect continuous tense is used to show that an action will continue in the future before starting of another action. Again I am repeating, future perfect continuous tense is used to show that an action will continue in the future before starting of another action. That means one action will continue and it will be completed at some point in the future. So before starting of another action means before the time of starting of another action, up to that time the action will continue. So that means it will completed at some point in future. So formula you can see here, subject plus shall or will plus have plus been plus V1 plus ing plus object. For example, I have written, I shall, according to the formula I have written, I is the subject, then shall, then have, then been, read V1, then ing I have added, it is now reading the book, it's the object, before he returns, it is the another time. So future perfect continuous tense means one action will continue in the future before starting of another action, or you can say that at some point in the future that action will be completed. Okay students, so I hope you have understood the chapter tense very well. Thank you. Next I will come with new video of new chapter.